Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing well. Okay, so today we're going to react to K-pop idol Goo Hara helped expose the Burning Sun sex scandal in the final days. Okay, Stephanie has already made a video on Burning Sun, and I think that video was um, almost a year ago. I mean, it was her starting YouTube channel. I think it was the first or second video in her YouTube channel, this YouTube channel, Rotten Mango, and I did watch it at that time when it came out. Also, I do not remember most all the details of it. I do have the idea of what happened, but I since it was a long time ago, I don't remember all the details. But I was thinking of going back and watching that before watching this video, but then Stephanie does kind of give a recap. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Bada bing, bada boo.
September
Bada bing,
14th,
bada boom.
2018. It's the middle of the night, around 3:30 in the morning. The police get a phone call from a young man. He's 27 years old, and he says that he'd like to report an incident of domestic violence, assault.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Gangnam police, and this is happening in Gangnam, South Korea. This is like the Beverly Hills, the Upper East Side of Seoul. He tells the officers that he just tried to break up with his girlfriend, and she beat him up, assaulted him. The Gangnam police show up to investigate, and when they get there, the man is further explaining, I just tried to break up with my girlfriend because her personality, if you know her, she's very passionate. That's the nicest way to put it. She just has this over-the-top, dramatic personality, explosive. Her temper is out of this world. She's quite hysterical. So I just try to break up with her, and she loses her mind, starts scratching him across the face, twisting his arm, assaulting him, screaming at him, "Who are you to break up with me?" The police look at the man, and he does have pretty deep scratches on his face. They're quite bloody, actually. There's one right above his eye that's bleeding into his eye. There's one on his forehead. The police ask, "Girlfriend's name?" Goo Hara. Goo Hara, the famous K-pop idol from one of the biggest girl groups of their time. This is a very delicate case, and they know this. The police
Don't remember. I do remember the face. Kinda like the name is familiar, but I don't know who she is, which group she belonged to. I don't know.
start investigating, and there's just something that's not really adding up. If this man's story is true, why is there CCTV footage of Goo Hara, the K-pop idol, on her knees begging him to not do this to her? And why did he, the boyfriend, email Dispatch, a Korean
I know
tabloid
Dispatch.
similar to TMZ, twice during this so-called one-sided assault? And what does all of this have to do with the Burning Sun? A few months after this domestic violence incident, Goo Hara will help reporters blow the lid off of the Burning Sun case. And less than a year
I've
later
seen
after
them.
that, she will be found dead in her
Oh
apartment.
my god.
This is part 2 of the Burning Sun case.
Maybe I know her because of her death. Like I have seen. Wait.
We would like to thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to support the Megan Meyer Foundation. Since its inception, they have grown into a global cyberbullying and self-exit prevention foundation. They provide education, intervention, resources, support, and inspire communities to eradicate bullying once and for all. This episode's partnerships have also made it possible to support Rotten Mango's growing team, and we would like to thank our listeners for your continued support as we work on our mission to be worthy advocates. As always, full show notes are available at rottenmangopodcast.com. A couple of disclaimers before we get into today's case. Today's case involves some heavy subjects including bullying, self-exit, essay, and abuse through blackmail of releasing explicit photos and images without one's consent. If that is something that you might think is too heavy for you today, please go take care of yourself, and if you need to, click out. We will see you in the next one. First and foremost, I do want to cite the BBC's new documentary that came out early 2024, so a few months ago, and everybody requested that we do a follow-up on our previous Burning Sun episode. The BBC documentary is free to watch on BBC's YouTube channel. They also have a 6-part podcast about Burning Sun that is also free to listen to on their website.
Okay,
We
I'll
had
check it
multiple
out.
researchers on the RM team work on this case. We tried really hard to make sure everything we say has been verified through the appropriate sources, or we indicate when something is a speculation or theory. But if anything is ever lost in translation, miscommunicated, or if you have any additional context or information, please let us know down in the comments. Also, this is part 2 of Burning Sun. This is following our initial episode that came out a few months ago, but in a few days we will
Like
be
a few
uploading the
months
third
ago.
and final part. There's a lot of updates.
I'll
I
do
mean,
the
otherwise
third
this
part
video
as
would have
well.
been 4 hours long. So with that being said, let's jump into a brief recap of Burning Sun. Even if you have no idea what we're talking about or watched part 1's episode a while ago, hopefully this recap is going to give you the lowdown on the case.
Okay.
In Seoul, South Korea, there were, at the time in 2018, 3 places where you can go if you want to see a celebrity or a K-pop idol in person. First would be a fan meet. There's always fan meets. Your second option is a little different but similar, is go to a concert. You're not going to see them up close and personal, but you still see them in real life. And the third option was the one that marketed itself as the place to be if you want to rub shoulders with celebrities and the upper elite. The third place is the Burning Sun nightclub. It's located in Gangnam, and it was marketed as the it spot. Your chances of seeing an idol in real life would skyrocket, allegedly, if you go to the Burning Sun nightclub. In fact, Seungri, an idol from Big Bang, one of the biggest K-pop groups at the time, would often DJ and promote the club. Most people, if you're lucky, you gotta wait in line. The club is exclusive. You have to wait in line maybe for an hour to get in on busy weekends. But if you're this slim minority that is a VIP at an establishment like this, you get a unique experience, special treatment. The VIP table menu starts at $10,000 for the basic champagne package.
Oh
But
my
it can easily
God.
go up to $100,000 to get just 22 bottles of champagne and super VIP treatment. But if you're a true VIP, you know that's not even the real menu. There's a secret menu at Burning Sun, and on it is just one thing. It's not even alcohol, but the most expensive thing, the most coveted top secret menu item is a tall glass of water. You had to
Oh
be
yeah, I
well
remember.
known, and there's
I
likely a
remember. It's like a secret word for girls.
threshold for the amount of money that you had to spend before you're able to purchase a glass of water, and you get a whole dedicated team or staff with group chats and drug runners to get you this glass of water. At Burning Sun
It's like
nightclub,
either
a tall glass of
dirty
water
or
is code
something
for
like that.
young, beautiful, and most importantly, drunk, so they don't fight back, female club goer. The employees at Burning Sun would coordinate getting VIPs tall glasses of water into their VIP rooms. They would do whatever it takes to get them their secret menu choices, even if that means drugging these women. Their drug of choice at Burning Sun was typically GHB. Basically, they would roofie these female club goers that have no idea that the employees at Burning Sun are even doing this to them, which meant it's not even about covering your drinks from other partiers. The bartender is slipping it in, which meant the drugged woman would be likely completely passed out to allow the VVIPs to do whatever they wanted to them, which typically included essaying them and illegally filming videos of them. There is a video of a woman being dragged into a VIP room, clearly unwillingly, and the employees do nothing to stop the situation or help her. It seems like a normal day at the club. Burning Sun is one of K-pop's biggest scandals to date, because it is revealed to the public that Seungri, the DJ, who sometimes plays sets at the Burning Sun, the K-pop idol that you could go see in person if you waited in line at the club, Seungri of Big Bang, he's not just a DJ. In fact, he was one of the 4 directors of Burning Sun Entertainment, as well as co-founder of
I
Yuri
really do
Holdings, a
hate him.
shareholder of the nightclub. Investigations also revealed that he was a member of various Kakao Talk group chats that had other well-known K-pop idols in the group, most notably JJY of Drug Restaurant, that's the band name, and Choi Jung-hoon of FT Island. The group chat messages exposed mentions of possible police.
Thank God I never stand any of them. Thank God. And thank God that none of them had any member of the groups I was standing at that time or I'm still standing.
Collusion, tax evasion, illegal sharing of sexual images and videos, and the drugging and R-wording of women. These videos were shared into these group chats. Additionally, it has been stated that Seung-lee, as a way to get investors into Burning Sun to invest in his businesses, he would procure women to sleep with the VIP investors. The central figure in the Burning Sun case is Seung-lee from Big Bang. The chat logs can be split into two different types of activities. One, which consists of Seung-lee sourcing women for his VIP investors, and two, which consists of Seung-lee and other K-pop idols sharing videos of women that they have slept with consensually and sometimes not consensually, and videos of women that look like they are drugged and appear to be unconscious and did not consent to intimate relations or to being filmed.
Wow.
There were some supporters of
Wow,
Seung-lee
they
even
are laughing about it. I could film it with the flash on because she's passed out. Send me a clip of a girl that's alive. So he's like, okay, send me a clip of a girl. I don't know, maybe it means like she's not unconscious and she's kind of fighting back or something.
after he pled guilty to so many of these crimes that stated that he was not in any of the group chats that shared illegal videos of women. Even after our first Burning Sun
Oh, come
episode,
on.
I actually got emails of people being like, you don't know what you're talking about. And that the chat rooms are two unrelated group chats entirely. And to those people, I think that they're entitled to their own opinions, regardless of if it's rooted in reality or not. However, I do hope common sense finds you soon, and I do wish them the best in their journey of self-healing
I
that
do
will
hope.
hopefully come one day. In
Same,
May of this year,
same.
2024, new footage and chat logs that have never been seen before were published by the BBC, where there is clear, irrefutable evidence that Seung-lee was in those group chats that shared explicit videos of women. One piece of
Okay,
evidence
good.
provided by the BBC, Seung-lee responds in a group chat to a video that is sent of an unconscious woman being essayed. That was released by the BBC. If you believe that Seung-lee is still innocent and not involved in those group chats, please tell Seung-lee to file a defamation lawsuit against the BBC, which he has not done so far, at least as of public knowledge. Nor have we heard from his attorneys, even though we have been accused of defaming his great character. And not to mention, a new video was also published by the BBC of Seung-lee angrily gripping a woman's arm, dragging her while screaming, shut up, follow me."
Oh, okay. Okay, they're gonna show the video, but I realized a while ago. I've talked about in another video. I really wanted to do true crime for my own channel. Like I wanted to make videos on true crime, but watching so many videos of Stephanie has made me realize that this is this can get really dangerous. Actually, this work that Stephanie's doing is not an easy work. Obviously, it's not an easy, but it's not safe as well. It is really, really dangerous, and I appreciate her for this.
She clearly tries to sit back down. She does not want to go with him. She seems intoxicated and is doing her best to resist. We have no further context to the video, but I don't think anything is needed. There are so many better hills to die on than that of a man who treats any woman or anyone for that matter like that. Regardless of any excuse, context, explanation that one can muster up, it's gross, and he's not gonna pick you regardless of how many Medium articles you self-publish for him or how many Twitter essays you write. But one of the most important things that the new BBC documentary has highlighted is the quote, whistleblowers of the Burning Sun case. To give you some context, the news of what was going on in Burning Sun would start unraveling to the public November of 2018, not even a full year after the club opened. CCTV footage would come out involving an incident with a man named Kim Sang-gyo, who claimed that he was a club goer that was physically assaulted by the Burning Sun staff because he tried to prevent a woman from being drugged. Kim was arrested at Burning Sun on charges of sexual assault. However, start unraveling to the public November of 2018. Not even a full year after the club opened. CCTV footage would come out involving an incident with a man named Kim Sang-gyo, who claimed that he was a club goer that was physically assaulted by the Burning Sun staff because he tried to prevent a woman from being drugged. Kim was arrested at Burning Sun on charges of sexual assault. However, he made his own allegations stating that he was trying to prevent a different woman from being assaulted by somebody else, and that the charges against him are indicative of collusion between Burning Sun and the police. Now, interestingly enough, victims, women who have nothing to do with this Kim person, have gone to the police to report all of what was going on in Burning Sun before this incident even happened. But it wasn't until Kim's situation that the investigation was kickstarted into the Burning Sun nightclub. So as a result, mainstream media news outlets begin mass reporting Kim as the whistleblower of the Burning Sun case. Many news outlets even started casting doubt on the fact that Kim was also arrested. They suggested perhaps it's part of a big cover-up, since Burning Sun has connections with higher-ups in the police force, and that has been proven through their chat logs. Perhaps it's a setup. In June of this year, 2024, Kim Sang-gyo, whom the media labeled as the whistleblower, was officially charged, and the Supreme Court upheld his sentence of a 2-year probationary period with a deferred 1-year prison sentence. He was found guilty of molesting one employee of Burning Sun and obstructing business. A few netizens have used this prosecution as proof that Kim Sang-gyo was, quote, the real predator behind Burning Sun, and that Seung-lee specifically was scapegoated, framed, and his involvement was exaggerated to further push some sort of weird narrative, and some go as far to claim that Seung-lee is actually innocent. So much so that the hashtags apologize to Seung-lee and hashtag justice for Seung-lee started trending. However, the majority of netizens with some common sense believe, no, Kim Sang-gyo can be a whistleblower and a criminal at the same time.
You can.
Similar to how a K-pop idol like Seung-lee can leave a lasting imprint on the K-pop industry and be a criminal at the same time. Those things are not mutually exclusive.
Yes.
So for a few netizens that are still unconvinced, please take it up with the courts. The official guilty verdicts of just a few of the men involved in the Burning Sun, including the controversial whistleblower, are as follows. JJY was found guilty of gang R-wording, filming and distributing illegally recorded videos. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Choi Jung-hyun was found guilty with gang R-wording and sentenced to 2.5 years in prison. Seung-lee was found guilty and charged with overseas gambling, the embezzlement of millions, procurement of prostitution, mediation of prostitution, spreading illegal pictures, instigating violence, and other small business-related charges. He was sentenced to 18 months in prison, which he pled guilty.
18 months?
Kim Sang-gyo, the quote whistleblower, was found guilty and charged with molestation and obstruction of business. He was sentenced to 2 years probation and a deferred prison sentence of 1 year. All 4 of these individuals were found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt until irrefutable evidence comes out, which I haven't seen a single solid piece of evidence that is verified and can actually be argued in the court of law in any of the Twitter essays, Twitter graphics, long threads, Medium, self-published articles. I haven't seen anything. Until irrefutable evidence comes out and officially exonerates these men, those are their sentences, those are their crimes, and those are their records. If you want a further deep dive, feel free to watch our previous episode on Burning Sun, which will be linked in the description. But one of the more important aspects of the new BBC documentary is that it has shed light on 5 women that are responsible for exposing the Burning Sun scandal.
Okay.
The 5 women who honestly should be remembered as the real whistleblowers and the ones who blew the lid on Burning Sun. This is the story of how one woman's police report would kickstart the entire case, a second woman who secretly dropped 3 USB drives off at a lawyer's office containing all of the evidence, the third woman who suffered death threats and 2 miscarriages and still would not back down because she believed the public deserved to know the truth. The fourth woman who risked her entire career to conduct her own investigation, find the victims herself, and go up against the police. And the story of a fifth woman who sacrificed friendships in order to track down a corrupt police official and who would be found dead in her apartment before anyone could say thank
Goo
you.
Hara?
Reporter King inserts a USB drive into her computer, and now it's the waiting game. It's taking longer to load all these files, a lot longer than she initially expected. I mean, she kind of had an idea of what was going to be on the USB drives. Her friend, who happens to be an attorney, called her, and he's like, hey, I need you to take on this big case involving this massive K-pop star that is allegedly involved in some shady activities in their private lives. A whistleblower had dropped off 3 USB drives filled with evidence at the attorney's office under one condition: she remain totally anonymous. Both the attorney and reporter Kang have a vague idea of what's going to be on these USBs. 3 years ago, there was this incident. A woman had walked into the police station and reported that her boyfriend had secretly recorded explicit videos of her.
I remember.
The boyfriend is brought into the police station.
This is how the previous video of Burning Sun started. Okay, they took the phone. It was given to, the data collector, and then they found all these chats and videos.
But
And
he
that's
states,
how everything came
"Unfortunately,
to
oopsie,
light.
my phone is broken." What do you know? Like, what are the odds of that? He has his phone taken to a private third-party tech shop to recover the deleted files to show the police that he did not have those files of his former girlfriend on his phone like he was accused of. Now, the anonymous girl working at the tech store receives a phone call from an attorney. And they want to talk about the phone that's sitting on her desk right now. The attorney tells her, more or less, let it go. You don't even have to touch the phone. Just say that you went through the phone and you couldn't find any files. Tell the authorities that there's no files to be recovered on the phone. It's a big misunderstanding. Even the authorities want to just get this case over with. It's a nuisance. It's very, very, very shady. And of course, it piques her interest. She's able to recover all the files on the phone, but she doesn't just find the video of the ex-girlfriend, the one that reported him to the police. She finds hundreds of text messages, countless videos and photos of other women that seemed drugged, unconscious, while being essayed. And the phone's owner? The famous, beloved K-pop idol, JJY.
I don't even like his face. I'm sorry. I don't even like it.
The girl working at the tech store
I don't
makes a
like him.
digital copy of all the files on his phone and collects 3 USB drives worth of evidence. Evidence that she sits on for 3 years because she's
Even though Sungli is the main offender, I don't know, whenever this guy comes up in the screen, I really hate him.
terrified. She finally finds the courage to send them anonymously to an attorney. Reporter Park was the one that initially reported on this case. So reporter Kang has the USB drives. This is a completely different reporter. This is in 2016. She hears about the police report of JJY's ex-girlfriend alleging that he has videos of her, explicit videos that she did not consent to, on his phone. She writes a few articles about this, and she gets torn apart, ripped to shreds, because by this point, there is no proof that JJY, the idol, had recorded videos of his girlfriend without consent. In response to reporter Park's articles, JJY holds a press conference where he states, "First of all, I sincerely apologize for causing controversy with this incident. The woman who pressed charges against me was my ex-girlfriend, and even though we split up, we remained good friends. The video in question was filmed as a joke with consent, and it was deleted right away. I've been working a lot recently, and that led us to arguing. And in the middle of that argument, she filed a complaint to the police against me. But since being questioned by the police, she has withdrawn the charges." Reporter Park is ripped to shreds. Comments on Reporter Park read, "Park trying to f up a person's life with her stupid article. Breaks my heart."
I don't think that she agreed to let this go because of whatever reason he's saying. I think even if she was at the end letting the case go, it was because they threatened her or something like that.
thinking about JJY crying about all of this.
Oh, come
Seriously,
on.
go die, Reporter Park. Look at that face on Reporter Park. It makes me want to stomp on it. What a bitch of a fucking filthy lower class jealous of these men. If her network doesn't fire her, I'm gonna set their building on fire. Reporter Park would receive death threats, explicit photos of private parts. She would be doxxed and bullied for years after these articles that she published. She was scared for her life, stressed, terrified, villainized, and ultimately she miscarried twice and she lost her ability to have children after that.
No.
Nobody believed her. But now, 3 years later, Reporter Kang has the USB drives that the tech shop worker had copied and kept as evidence. Reporter Kang starts feeling the nerves creep up on her. The files are done loading. She clicks on the first file, and it takes her a few seconds to even understand what she's looking at right now. It is not the ex-girlfriend that initially made the report against JJY. It is a video of a completely different woman, naked, in a bed, and she looks like she's on drugs, or she's practically asleep. She looks completely unaware of what's going on, and what's happening to her, and the fact that she is being sexually assaulted right now.
By JJY.
Yes. Reporter Kang says her heart starts beating faster and faster. She clicks the next video file and it's another intimate act, a woman engaging in oral activities with a guy, but it seems like she doesn't know that this is being filmed. It seems like it's being covertly recorded. There's a video where a woman is clearly unconscious. Some of the other ones, it's hard to even know if they're consenting or not because it's hard to know if they're even awake. You can't really say for sure, oh, they're awake or this is just, you get it.
I mean, even if they are awake and even if they are consenting, if they're consenting to the act, they're not consenting to being filmed and you sharing the video, right?
A lot of the videos look like whoever is filming wanted it to be filmed without that party's consent though. So already illegal. File after file, there's more K-pop idols with wholesome beloved images that are using women for and sharing videos of them in these KakaoTalk group chats. And it's not just JJY. The four main names that stick out to her are Seungri from Big Bang, JJY, whose phone copy this is, Choi from FT Island, and someone the members keep referring to as the police prosecutor general. Police prosecutor general, someone high up in the police. Reporter Kang realizes that she just uncovered hundreds upon hundreds of text messages, including photos and videos of women being secret during intimate relations and even videos of SA being circulated between famous celebrities, wealthy business investors, and a powerful police official. Reporter Kang is shaking at what she's reading. One message thread is of Seungri procuring women for his investors. He texts into the chat, "This Christmas, instead of us having fun, let's make others happy and feel satisfaction vicariously through that. Chairman Oe sends his yacht with crew and chefs from Japan to Busan every summer for us, so let's give him some fun this time." In another message, he writes, "Girls, get the good ones that give it good." A man named Kim responds, "I'm calling them right now, but I don't know if they'll give well. I wonder if they're only giving well, considering it's you guys?" JJY writes, "The Chinese ones will like the girls that look like they have a lot of plastic surgery." A man named Yu responds, "I'm getting the prostitutes ready now. When the two of them get here, Mr. K can take them to the hotel rooms." In another message, Seungri writes, "Wasn't yesterday's party so f***ing awesome? I can acknowledge that girl. I'm so into her. Her sister's also really fine." JJY responds, "Right, her sister was a real surprise. There were a lot of hidden gems yesterday." The guys complained that there were too many guys at the party, to which Seungri writes, "We can just get rid of them. Let's have them together. All of us. In Korea, we can just have them all together and I'll just go marry a foreign girl." In another, JJY writes, "Let's all get together online, hit the strip bar, and rape a girl in the car."
Wait, hold on. You say one of the Sunny say like have them in Korea and then I go marry a foreign girl?
Yeah, so they're talking about how they don't want to marry a passed around girl, basically.
Oh, come on.
Then a series of text messages were sent into the group chat after a fan sign that a few of the idols had attended, and they giggle about how one of the girls was so drunk, well, or potentially drugged, that she tripped and hit her head so.
Oh, I got so scared yesterday thinking that the girl had a real concussion. Someone started cracking and she felt really John and I were really surprised. Who is this Park? Choi? That Choi is also a surname.
So hard they heard her skull cracking. They were so terrified that she was gonna die. Laughing emoji, crying emoji. They stated it was the funniest thing in their entire life. They sent those messages after gang R-wording a fan from their fan meet. Another thread is of a group chat member stating he has a girl with sleeping pills in her and he did her. In other messages, they joke about how they don't like when they send videos of girls that are passed out and being essayed because it looks like
I
they're not.
don't think it's just the four of them. And I'm talking about K-pop idols. I'm not talking about the officer or minister or whatever. I'm talking about the idols. I don't think it's just the four or just the three of these idols. I think there are a lot more, and we don't know their names, and they might still be, you know, I don't know if they're still doing it or not, but they're still living their life.
Even alive. One of them argues, so what if she's out of it?
Huh? She's completely passed out. Lol. This lol is really getting to me. So what if she's out of it? Send me the clip. Okay. I could film it with the flash on. Okay, this is what
To
I
which
read
JJY
before.
jokes, that means you raped her, lol. Reporter Kang clicks on another message thread. January 2016, the ski trip. A video is sent to the group chat while the guys were on this ski trip, and the video is 24 seconds long. It does not appear that the women in these videos know that they are being filmed. In fact, it doesn't even appear the woman knows what's going on. The video is of a man on the sofa pulling a woman's undergarments aside and touching her down there, but she looks slumped over and unconscious. Another photo is of a man's hand touching a woman's breast. Another video is filmed from the second floor of the ski chalet, peering down onto the first floor, where the women again are clearly not aware that these videos are being taken. Another video is of a man walking through the hallway, opening the door to a bedroom to see a man having intimate relations with a woman. It is impossible to tell if she consents to the intimate relations, but clearly she doesn't know that she's being filmed. Seungri responds in the group chat, because he is in the group chat. He responds, who is it? The friend Kim responds, hee hee, redacted's friend, redacted. The one who talks a lot? 1 minute later, he sends 3 more pictures. According to the BBC, all 3 pictures depict the R wording of unconscious woman. These messages are from 2016. 2016 is when Seungri and his group that he was a part of, Big Bang, were ranked one of the most powerful celebrities in all of South Korea. They were the first Korean artist to be included in the Forbes Celebrity 100 list. They were technically on top of the world.
Do you think other members would have known that Seungri was doing all of this? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Wait, 2016, that's before Burning Sun opened.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they've been doing this type of things
Yes.
like without the nightclub.
Exactly.
And nightclub only almost provided a space for them to do it even bigger.
The
More,
nightclub employees
yeah.
that were interviewed for Burning Sun said the VIP rooms almost seemed intentionally constructed to be in the very back of the club where no one can hear anything. And it was under a hotel. In 2016, Seungri is on top of the world. That's all people are talking about. That and Big Bang's new song, Fantastic Baby, the first K-pop music video to pass 300 million views on YouTube. The only other thing in the K-pop world that received that much attention in 2016 is probably the fried rice picture. A picture of fried rice goes viral in 2016. 2016 is a very strange year in the K-pop world. A K-pop idol by the name of Sully, or Sully, goes viral for her Instagram picture of her fried rice. This is the picture. You know those like hibachi grills, like silver top grills? Well, there's a pile of fried rice on there, and the rice has been rearranged to look like it spells I love you,
I love
heart
you.
but the I is shaped like a private part, and there's 2 eggs at the bottom that look like balls, right? Sully posts that onto her Instagram and quickly deletes it, but it's too late. She's a K-pop idol. It's already been re-uploaded by netizens, and comments read, no way she actually did that. What a crazy bitch. She must be getting some really good D right now. I honestly think once her attention drops, she's gonna release her own intimate video online. Wow.
Oh no,
Her boy-
what the hell? I don't know. I mean, she could just be joking around with her friends.
Boyfriend's D must be like a drug.
It's
I'm
not
actually
like
worried for her parents. A sane person wouldn't even post this on their private Insta. Are her parents not embarrassed for having raised their daughter like this? This was the confirmation for netizens. That little fried rice picture
well, maybe she like posted it by mistake.
was confirmation that Sully, the K-pop idol, is a sex addict. Another comment reads, she's a sex addict. She needs therapy. It's like she was born to be an adult star. Have you heard of the group FX?
Yeah.
They were one of the most iconic groups in K-pop, and Sully was a member of FX. Sully has this very ethereal quality to her. She looks like a fairy. That's what she was known for.
She is
People really, really love
pretty.
Sully. She's very angelic looking, talented, and it's really hard not to root for her. When she first debuted, it was released that when she was younger, she would go to this church retreat where these two girls would repeatedly bully her. They would hold her head underwater and not let her come up, nearly drowning her. Since then, Sully suffered from severe aquaphobia, and she wasn't even able to wash her face properly for the longest time. But she's like, that's not gonna be my life. I am determined to challenge myself and overcome it. So one of her biggest bucket list items was going scuba diving, which she is eventually able to check off. She has this very it factor about her. A famous director would even say she's confident, shines under bright lights, and has the face of a princess. Of course she was gonna be famous. 2013, 3 years before the fried rice scandal, Sully's image comes crashing down. She is caught by the paparazzi spending time with this rapper named Choiza, or I guess the English pronunciation would be Choiza. There is just a lot to unpack here. Choiza is around 33 years old at the time. Sully is 19. They have a 14-year age gap. On top of that, Choiza's rap name is allegedly after his, quote, large penis. So, at first, both parties do not confirm the dating rumors, but a netizen posts on a forum about how they found Choiza's lost wallet and it had pictures of Sully in it. Which, like, what are the odds? People start going crazy at this point. Again, their agencies are still denying the dating. SM Entertainment, the agency that Sully is signed with, says Choiza is only a senior in the industry who's like an older brother to Sully. They are not dating. Since they're close, though, they do meet often. Eventually, the relationship gets confirmed and all hell breaks loose. It's just unleashed on mainly just Sully. I mean, I think we can all have our differing opinions on what age gaps we're comfortable with, but their relationship is not illegal. She was of age when they started dating, and I personally feel like I can't comment considering she seems to have a lot of love for him even after they break up. But I would hope that they were just good for each other, right? But there is a problem with how netizens react to the news of their relationship. After it's confirmed, news starts coming out about how Choiza is this romantic guy. He writes love songs for his girlfriend. That's the image that he's receiving in the media. Meanwhile, Sully's Instagram is flooded with people calling her a sex addict, mainly because she's dating someone with a stage name that refers to his private parts. Which he even later states he regrets his stage name for the sake of his mother. She's so mad at him for it. He wishes that he could change it, but it feels too late now. Basically,
You think it's cool, but later you regret it.
netizens feel like Sully is a for dating someone older than her, and on top of that, they start dissecting her Instagram pictures, ripping them apart. This is like the beginning of micro-analyzing every single picture that she ever uploads. Her every little movement, her every little breath is micro-analyzed. These are just a few that netizens have a lot of issues with. One of them just shows her wearing a cute mini dress that is sheer, but you can't really see anything other than the outline of her thighs. Another one is her near a poster of a woman's butt. And it's like those cheeky little shops, you know, and they have the neon lights. And she has her hand on the butt and she's looking back at the camera pouting, fully clothed, like modest clothing at that point. Another one of her is doing a split, fully clothed, but it's not even a split. It's like a regular Pilates pose. She's just doing a back handstand and it's like splitting. It's a Pilates pose. It's working out. And another one of her is in shorts, leaned up against the wall. All very normal, if not even pretty tame pictures to post on Instagram for a celebrity. But some netizens truly believed this was confirmation that Sully is a full-blown addict. They started flooding her Instagram with comments like, Sully's a star now. Is this really the sweet Sully we knew? She just becomes crazier and crazier. Is she out of her mind? She just wants to suck Chweja's private parts. She has no talent, but she's good at being a pervert. She's ruining her own life. Where is the pure and innocent Sully now? I don't like her anymore. She's a... One netizen sums up the quote controversy really well, which is, an idol performs as a sexual object, but must pretend does not exist.
Oh.
So they're saying SM Entertainment and all these agencies
yeah.
in K-pop will sexualize their idols to nobody's end for commercial success. But the minute that the idols themselves choose to do something with their body, that's not even inherently sexual. It's disgusting. It's vile. It's filthy.
Right.
It's like this weird, sick gaslighting game that these people are playing on themselves. The controversy becomes so big that either indirectly or directly, it leads to Sully leaving FX, the group. She states that she will still be managed under SM Entertainment, but will pursue acting.
Oh my god. The amount of time K-pop idols had to leave their group just because of smallest mistakes or allegations or accusations that are not even confirmed. It's ridiculous, okay? Ridiculous. I still can't get over Monster X and G Idol and all the others. I can't. They...
It is around this time that Sully starts spending a lot of time with another famous K-pop idol, Goo Hara. The two almost become best friends, inseparable, and they will die within a month of each other. Goo Hara is a singer that debuted with the girl group Kara. So both of them are from like the most massive girl groups of all time. Kara was huge back in the day. They are one of the most memorable girl groups. They were one of the most popular South Korean girl groups in Japan. And out of the 5 members, Japanese netizens once nicknamed Goo Hara specifically the most beautiful Korean girl group member. In Korea at one point, she was even nicknamed Goo Barbie. And around the time that Sully's dating scandal breaks, Goo Hara has her own dating scandal. She's photographed at a park, walking around holding hands with a man. It's nighttime, so it does seem like the two of them are walking around at night to avoid being seen. It seems more of like a private little escape. That's what it looks like. The man in the picture with Goo Hara is Highlight band member Young Chunhyung.
And Highlight is a K-pop group.
Yes. And just wait, he's gonna come back around during Burning Sun.
Oh god.
Interestingly, but not surprisingly, Sully and Hara are the ones that are mainly criticized and bullied for being in a relationship with other famous celebrities. At the time, the two guys, they don't really get much, if any, backlash. Sully is accused of being a addict and a whore for dating someone over a decade older than her. Interestingly, he doesn't get hate for dating someone a decade younger than him. And as for Hara, a lot of toxic netizens just hate the fact that Chunyoung didn't choose them and that he chose Goo Hara. Even though this is Goo Hara's very first public relationship, she's a full-fledged adult, netizens give her the title of being boy obsessed. Even though she spends almost every waking hour at work, performing, practicing, doing tours in Japan and South Korea, and doing other work-related events, she is considered boy-obsessed. All she can think about in that pretty little head of hers are boys. At this point, some netizens are so riled up about her relationship with Highlight member Chunyoung that they're willing to do anything to prove that Goo Hara is not worthy of dating him. Some netizens make it their full-time job to find something, anything that's gonna confirm what they've all been thinking. Goo Hara is not special, she's really not that pretty or talented, and she's not deserving of Chunyoung. That's what they're thinking. They're honestly like vultures. They act like they're working for the CIA, when in reality, they're not being compensated. It's not their job, they're weirdly obsessed, and instead of arguing something is for national security, they're just straight up trying to bully someone on the internet. Someone that doesn't even know that they exist. And they find what they're looking for. They dig deep into Hara's old social media from before she became famous, and an old picture of her resurfaces, kissing her boyfriend at the time. It's not even like actual, it's like a light little, and there's a picture taken. They keep digging. They come across a series of photographs that look like Hara and her then boyfriend. This is again before she's famous and her boyfriend's also not famous. There are a series of photos that look like from context clues. They're celebrating her birthday and maybe a dating anniversary. That's what it looks like, which is fine, but netizens find a few problems with it. First, in this series of pictures, There's one photo of Hara and her boyfriend taking a picture in the mirror. Her boyfriend is holding up the camera and she has her arm around his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
To me, the picture looks really normal.
Yeah,
but a lot
it
of
is
people said that
normal.
looks very suggestive and sexual. Then, some of these netizens do more digging. They look for any sort of identifying pieces of furniture or layout in the place that the pictures are taken, and they cross-reference them with houses, hotels, pensions in the area. And they come to the conclusion that the couple were renting out a pension for this anniversary event. A pension, first of all, it's staying the night together at a place, which is crazy to them. Now, to give additional context, a pension is a short-term rental. It honestly is just like renting out an Airbnb, but Korean netizens have stated the idea of spending the night at a pension with your significant other is regarded in Korea as the same as spending the night at a hotel or a motel with your significant other. Basically, you mention the word pensions and Koreans will assume is involved. Then the third thing that netizens hunt down is the picture of Hara. And the picture is horrendous quality, but you can tell it's Hara, and she has this cake in front of her, and they count the number of candles and discover she's turning 17. When all of this starts circulating on the internet, Goo Hara's friends come out to say, actually, we were all there celebrating her birthday. You can't see us in the pictures, but we were all there celebrating her birthday as a group, and this is wild. You guys are insane. Like, netizens need to calm down.
Yeah.
The netizens are on a rampage, though. They're out for blood. They're not going to stop now. They go as far as calling the listed pension, asking about reservations that would have been made that year under the name Goo Hara. No? Then what about these names? The list of Goo Hara's friends that came out and said that they were there. The manager stated there were no reservations under those names. The netizens take that as, okay, that means it must have been under Goo Hara's boyfriend's name, and it must have just been them as a couple. They go back to the fine print of the pension listing website, and it says this specific pension only allows reservations for couples. They go through the listing photos. You can see a shower is made of glass, and you get a clear view from it from the bedroom, so it kind of feels like a love-centered pension. The netizens say this is basically a love motel. So there. They did it. They did all of this work to prove that Goo Hara maybe had underage, or maybe she just rented out a pension so she could hang out with her boyfriend. From then on, there would be articles about Goo Hara.
Why?
One article would be titled, Goo Hara party pictures, mannequin body and perfect proportions. So it's just talking about her body, which is already such a questionable title. But the comments would read, even years after this, we're interested in her pension, not her fashion. Goo Hara is not normal. She went to a pension that had a bathroom with glass walls with her boyfriend when she was 17 years old. Another article that has nothing to do with Goo Hara, a netizen writes, about Goo Hara's pension. It's not the idols that are going through a hard time, but the company CEOs. Stop backstabbing the companies that helped you rise to fame and treat them well. Kids these days always cause...
Come on. Like, we don't know what these companies do to the idols.
trouble.
It's making me angry.
Treating who well?
So this comment is about another scandal that was a stupid scandal of another K-pop idol, and the comment reads, these K-pop idols are ruining these SM Entertainment and all these entertainment company CEOs' lives by creating these scandals. There is a talk show called Radio Host, where celebrities will be interviewed by other celebrities, or they call them MCs. At one point, they were, to a degree, considered the talk show that was not afraid to ask tough questions for celebrities. Kara was gonna be on the show, and from the get-go, the show gets off to an intense start. The host's label in front of her face on TV, Goo Hara as a relationship idol. I guess implying that she's not known for her talent or her skill or for her music, but she's mainly known for her serious...
MCs be doing a lot. I remember we had a lot of scandals of... There are two specific MCs. I don't know their name. I only know their face. That were literally bullying idols on camera. But it would have been like edited out like this, okay? Sweat coming out of their head, animated to make it seem more easygoing and more lighthearted. But
of alleged relationships and relationship scandals. Side note, this is after Goo Hara and her fellow idol boyfriend highlight member break up. Goo Hara was actually spotted out with another idol around that time, and they were just grabbing lunch. I saw the paparazzi pictures. They look pretty platonic. They look like friends grabbing lunch, which even if they're not, even if they are dating, doesn't matter. But every single thing that Hara did, every interaction with any man is scrutinized. So of course, when these pictures come out, the comments read, it hasn't even been that long since she broke up with Chunyoung, her ex. If they really are dating, Goo Hara moves on so fast. This guy can do so much better. I say this as a fan of the male idol. You can date girls. Just date girls on your level. Goo Hara's not on your level, meaning she's beneath him. Another reads, don't care, but he can do so much better. She was in and out of a pension with a man since junior high and then dated Chunyoung not too long after her debut, and here she is with another man. She's one of those typical girls who just can't live without a guy.
That is so crazy because in America, when a celebrity gets in a relationship, most of the time people are very happy.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a good thing for them, right? Like relationship usually helps their career.
Yeah.
But in Korea, it's like that. It's the end.
It's so crazy. I find it a
They
red
were,
flag.
yeah. There was this one, I don't know her name, but this one one show is really famous where idol go to this celebrity slash MC's house and they drink and they talk. She was also in. She's very funny and I really like her. She was also in one of 17's video. Um, there was this American or like not Korean celebrity that went there, and he was talking about his wife or his girlfriend. I don't remember. And that MC talked about, oh, you have a girlfriend, and then she talked about how in Korea this is a big no, like you cannot have a girlfriend here. And he was like, yeah, I heard that in Korea, like here a celebrity cannot have like and he said that he find it really really strange because he said he said, I'm sorry guys for having a girlfriend and being happy, something along these lines, right? So he was really shocked. And
When there are K-pop stans that hate idols being in relationships, maybe if they're in a relationship with someone really dangerous or problematic, that's one thing. But if it's the idea of them dating, is just bizarre. It's pretty clear that Hara knows that the hosts of the show are going to try and talk to her about these incidents, and she's not wrong. Goo Hara is instantly uncomfortable when the hosts turn their attention to her, and they start off by saying that Hara was scared to be on radio host, and they're joking about it. They're like hee hee haing, but they say that in and of itself is telling because a guilty conscience needs no accuser. What are you scared of if you have nothing to hide? One of the hosts straight up asks her, what questions are you the most scared of? If you tell us, just don't talk about this, we won't talk about it. Hara responds, you're still gonna ask about it anyway, even if I say. And the whole time she's smiling, she's playing along, she's not trying to kill the energy and be firm like, no, this is my boundary.
They cannot do that.
Cordial. No, we won't ask about it if you tell us. Dating, I don't want to talk about dating. The male host responds, oh, that would take too long anyway. Which part or person do you not want us to talk about? I don't have anything to talk about. Why do you guys keep doing that to me? It's because if we take out the dating conversations when we talk to girl groups, then there's not really anything we can talk about.
Wow.
One of the hosts, who has since regretted his statements, turns to her and says, oh, she's like the dating idol. I'm the what? The dating idol. I'm not. Hara has a water bottle in her hand and she slides it across the table. I almost missed it because she doesn't chuck it, she doesn't throw it, she doesn't even slide it with much force. It's very like, stop. It's like if you were to throw a tissue at someone or to kind of gently tap someone's arm, like, stop it. It's more of the action that signals something rather than she's trying to hurt somebody. Remember this bottle. She pushes the bottle to the host that calls her the dating idol and she's trying to laugh it off. But the host all seem shocked that she threw the bottle.
This is crazy. Like,
oh,
obviously she's like saying no. Like, how much more do you want someone to say no to? And then she gets called out for being not nice or
yeah.
Oh, that's nothing. She's gonna have to formally apologize. In a joking way, the host said, oh, you're giving this to us for him to drink it, right? Headlines will read, Goo Hara gifts host with a drink, and they're all laughing. So you don't want us to talk about your dating? Yes, because even if we open the door and I talk about it, there's gonna be weird articles written about it. Listen, some advice. Typically, once articles keep coming out, people stop caring so much. But interestingly enough, I looked into it and your relationship life doesn't seem as passionate as one might imagine. As I've said before, our Japanese promotions were very long, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. The hosts joke that throughout the show, they're gonna keep asking her. They literally say in front of her, it's okay, during the rest of the show, we'll keep nudging her to talk about it gently, like here and there. And she just laughs and says, no, please, no. One of the hosts pulls out his cards, like half of his cards that he's reading questions off of, because you know those talk shows, they have little key cards. And he says, well, if we don't ask about Hara's dating life, I guess half these cards are gone. Up until this point, it's a little awkward. You can tell Hara does not want to talk about these certain things, but the way that the both sides are playing it off, maybe you could pass it off as like one hee-hee joke. The 4 male hosts and Goo Hara, and it is, up until this point again, it's not uncomfortable to watch because she's trying so hard to nicely, very professionally, and without killing this lighthearted atmosphere, she's trying to set a boundary. But the tone starts to shift when the girls reveal that one of the male hosts came to see them in the dressing room before the show, to which the guy MCs poke fun at the fact that the senior went to go say hi to the juniors. In Korean culture, typically the younger person or the junior in the industry has to go to the seniors and like
The
inside, like
hierarchy.
say hello, thank you for having me.
Wait, they brought this up in the middle of the show?
Yeah.
The girls brought it up and said, oh yeah, earlier when he came to visit us in the dressing room, and then the male MCs are like, wait, the senior went to say hi to you juniors?
Wow.
And the girls are freaking out and they're all waving their hand, no, we were getting ready, because immediately this is gonna look really bad on news.
And they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
Like they are purposefully like setting them up right now.
Yes, and I know for maybe not a Korean audience, it sounds like, why would that be a setup? But in Korea,
it's
these
huge
types of
deal.
honorifics, it's basically going up to your boss and being like that's literally what they're saying.
No, worse than that. It's
Yeah.
like a person
Yeah,
without
it is
manner, just
worse.
rude,
Disrespectful.
disrespectful. Yeah.
Thinks they're the shit, thinks that they rule the world. Like,
Yeah.
it's giving a very bad connotation. And the girls, of course, they start freaking out. They're waving their hand. No. We were getting ready to come say hi. We were getting ready first, but we had to get ready first. Then another one of the Kara members reveals that one of the hosts came to say hi, and Hara told him, please go easy on us. Like, our personal lives, let's just keep it personal. But instantly, that's the first thing you guys bring up. Like, the girls are bringing this up, very lighthearted. Like, again, we told you not to talk about it, and that's the first thing you brought up. Why are you guys doing this? But again, it's presented in such a graceful, classy manner. But the hosts don't like this, is what I get. It's purely a guess, obviously, but this is kind of where the tone of the episode starts shifting. One of the male hosts turns to the co-host and says, I heard you know a lot about their personal lives. The male host looks very tense, and he says, if I open my mouth, I can end Goo Hara. Instantly, Goo Hara stands up, and again, she's smiling. She's still using her aegyo voice, which in Korea is like soft, cute voice. It's like she's joking angry. Like, stop it! What do you mean, end me? Like, oh, but you can't be 100% confident either. She starts laughing and fanning her face, and the hosts start cracking up, and the guys just reassure her that he's joking. But Hara sits back down and turns around in her seat. She's facing away from the cameras, and slowly the room goes silent. Wait, are you actually crying right now? Hara turns around smiling and wipes a tear from her eyes and goes, sorry, I was just really angry. One of the other Kara members goes to grab a tissue, and another one is smiling and tells the host, oh, you guys took it a little too far. And if anything, the male hosts look very uncomfortable, almost shocked at the outcome of this, as if the girls did not give them repeated signs and clear boundaries that they did not want to talk about this. The hosts try to lighten the mood by saying the show has a history of making people cry. But either way, it's bad. I mean, even what he said about, if I open my mouth, I can end Goo Hara, the implication of that, it's not a question of if Goo Hara is doing something that the public would not like. It frames the situation as, she is, you just don't know about it.
Yeah.
Like, she
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
You
And you can't even
disprove that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's all people are gonna talk about now.
Yeah. Now, a few things to note. The whole time, Hara remains completely civil, professional, sweet. She's using aegyo the entire time, even when she's trying to indicate that she does not want to talk about this. She's playing along. She does not kill the mood. She does not make anyone feel uncomfortable. Even when she's crying, she's laughing it off and saying, sorry, I was just too angry. She's not being somber in the corner, like crying, like, why are you guys doing this to me? It's not like that. She honestly held herself with so much grace considering the situation. At this point, a few things to remember. Again, in the K-pop world, dating is not the same as Hollywood. It is a scandal. Even talking about allegations of dating is intense. Hara is already being bullied. She likely felt immense anxiety at even the mention of the word dating, because every time that word gets brought up, she can probably see all the hate comments, the cyberbullying, the lost ambassadorships, just her whole career that she's worked her whole life for, going down the drain. For what? For allegations of dating? She's trying to tell the host nicely not to talk about it, but instead they make jokes. They hint at the fact that they know things that would end her career, insinuating she's doing bad things. I mean, watching this clip, I just don't see how anyone would not feel for Hara's frustration or side with her. Side note, the host will later state that the episodes are scripted. So the male host said, the one that said he could open his mouth and end Goo Hara, he said that all of it was scripted. He has since apologized, and he actually did leave the show because he just felt very uncomfortable, apparently. Some say he left because military enlistment, I don't know. But the comments at the time read, the male host obviously looked very taken aback. I mean, look at his facial expression, it got tense. Did she seriously throw a water bottle in front of so many of these huge seniors? So she was sitting next to JYP, which is also a huge name in the industry. He said like 0 during this entire conversation. They keep bringing JYP
I
up.
didn't
How
know
is she doing this?
JYP was there. I didn't see him in the clips as well. Or maybe I didn't recognize him. JYP is... He's wearing... Okay, I didn't recognize him because of his hair, okay?
JYP.
Okay,
What's
I
the
didn't
point of even
recognize
coming
him
onto
because
the
of
show
his
if you're gonna
hair,
act like
okay?
this? It's not like she doesn't know what the show is about. Which, side note, like I said, the water bottle throwing, you can't even really call it that. Like, you really can't. Also, you think Hara has a choice in the show she goes on? Her agency very likely told her, you're going on this show. Another comment reads, this is the first time I changed the channel while watching Radio Star. I never really cared for Kara or hated on them in particular, but their attitude is just ridiculous. I could feel the male host in shock. So many industry seniors, and they dare act with such disrespect. They need to be taught immediately. They're so disrespectful. Another reads, kids these days, Goo Hara, I heard you bought $1 million building. If you make that much money without having any talent whatsoever, you can handle shit like this without crying. Another reads, empty-headed with no talent whatsoever as a singer. Seems like these girls think they're worse shit just because they're a bit popular. Who do they even think they are? I really am not the type to leave comments like this, but I'm just too angry. Exactly what do these girls think they are to go around acting like this at a place with so many seniors sitting around screaming and crying about their own mistakes, accusing a host of not being proud of his own past? And why is Goo Hara's face so unnatural? Her eyes are all swollen and it's obvious that she's done some work to her lips. If Hara doesn't want controversy for dating, then please act with some dignity. She cried and ruined the entire atmosphere over something that wasn't even a big deal.
It wasn't a big deal.
Obviously, she's hiding something for her to be crying like that. The male MCs, they look so awkward. And who does her fellow member think she is, butting in like that, defending her? God, they're such a mess. Another comment just reads, you better answer the questions. Do you think you're a princess or something? You need to provide for the pay you're being given. So disrespectful. Cry all you want, cry for 100 days, your controversies aren't going away. There was a netizen poll done around the time where people were asked if they believed the MCs if they crossed the line or if Goo Hara crossed the line. 91% of netizens that answered the poll thought Hara crossed the line. Hara had to formally apologize for crying on the talk show and formally apologize for not being professional after being harassed. Yeah, she had to apologize for making the male host feel uncomfortable. Side note, if you compare Hara's comments from her segment on Radio Host to interviews that her ex-boyfriend from Highlight did after their breakup, they should be the same, right? He should also be considered just as controversial as her, just as girl-obsessed, because it takes 2 people to date. The comments on the segment read, it's been so long since he and Hara broke up. Leave him alone. See, this is why celebrities don't want to be public with their dating life. It gets used against them over and over again on shows like this. I always thought he could do better anyway. Let's move on from these comments. This is the best radio star could come up with, asking about Goo Hara. Goo Hara isn't even relevant these days.
Oh wait, so he went on radio
Host as well.
But these are the comments.
Yes.
People are defending him.
Yeah. They comment, Chunyoung has achieved so much in his career, and yet they ask him these low-grade questions about his dating life and Goo Hara. Why would the host even think that's appropriate to ask about Goo Hara? How would he feel if someone grilled him about his ex-wife?
Oh my
5
god.
years after Goo Hara's appearance on Radio Host, in 2018, a new Google trending search result gains traction. You know how if a lot of people Google something, it becomes a trending search? The trending search in South Korea becomes Goo Hara video. The second trending search is Goo Hara video, Goo Hara relationship. There were threads on forums dedicated to this trending search, and they read, where can I watch the actual video? I want to see it. Does somebody know where I can find it? The sick part of all of this is Goo Hara never wanted this video to be seen. The quote, video in question is actually revenge explicit material. Videos taken of her doing intimate acts without her consent that she is being blackmailed by. Goo Hara filed a police report and news broke, and a lot of netizens, not only do they not feel sympathy for her, but they want to watch it. The whole situation with the search trends starts with the assault case between Goo Hara and her ex-boyfriend. He's a hairstylist that we are going to be calling CJ. This all starts unraveling September 2018. This is from the beginning of the episode. And I'm going to tell you how it's reported, because during the unraveling of the situation, there were a lot of people switching sides. The tides just keep turning. Obviously, hindsight is 2020, but at the time, I think it's important to note the types of comments that Goo Hara is getting throughout this whole situation. Initially, reports start coming out that Goo Hara assaulted her boyfriend for breaking up with her. I will say, after this one singular report, Hara receives a lot of hate because, the only report there is as of this point is that she hit her boyfriend. But even then, some netizen comments are just questionable. They write pension, cigarettes, living together, violence. The answer's all there. She's crazy. She just dates nonstop, as if she cares anymore about what the news says about her. She's rich enough to own a building. Another reads, I heard she does drugs, so her boyfriend wants to break up with her and she goes to the extreme to get him to stay. But that same day, a second report is released, a very short one. This time it states that Goo Hara has reported to the police that this was a two-sided assault case. She told authorities that it was CJ that hit and kicked her first. The Gangnam police seem to agree with the fact that they both harmed each other, because the Gangnam police would later report it appears both parties assaulted one another. And this causes even more confusion amongst the netizens. There are a few groups of people now, people that support Hara, people that support neither and think that physical violence is never okay regardless of who started it and who ended it, and people who are questioning both parties' stories, saying, I personally don't understand the man. Even if she hit him, he basically tattled to the police. Was he not able to resolve it between the two of them? I feel like he's using her status as a celebrity against her. Some people start questioning if Hara's boyfriend even hit her. Why? Were they there? Why would they question if Hara was ever hit? That's such a weird thing. Did they receive special anonymous sources? No. They said, let's be real. The boyfriend let her hit him. If he really wanted to beat her back, she'd be hospitalized right now. She doesn't realize how grateful she should be, but instead she's accusing him of assaulting her too. If he really beat her, she'd be hospitalized and his life would be over. That's gender discrimination for ya.
Oh, come on. Okay, I just searched because I kept on thinking in my head, and I was not getting over the fact. I felt like I recognized the face, Goo Hara's face, and the name. I found both of it really familiar. So I was like, where do I know her from? Where do I know her from? Then I searched and I figured out, okay, recently a very tragic incident happened in K-pop, which was the passing away of Moonbin. Okay, and it was very tragic, and it was such a big news that it was everywhere in my For You page, in my algorithm. Okay, because my algorithm mostly contained K-pop content, so it was everywhere. And around the time when these videos were circulating, and people were making videos on the case and the incident and everything, Soli and Goo Hara's their story, not this story, and their tragic stories, and how people were not believing them, and how after the tragic incidents happened, everyone was now being like, oh, so this was the truth and everything. And netizens do that, okay? Netizens, they like, Stephanie's talking about how netizens kept on blaming them until they had to take these actions. So I just found out that because their videos and their story, and how mostly it was like Solly with IU, because I remembered that name immediately when she talked about Solly. I knew she was talking about her, because I think it was because of IU being friends with Monbin and Solly at the same time. Her name and her pictures kept popping up more, and there were also videos of her doing, I believe, going live before she took the action. So I know these names and I know these faces from there. So I just wanted to clarify, because it was in my mind and I kept on thinking about it. So I was bothered by it, actually.
Soon, a third report comes out. This report states that Hara is currently in the hospital. She's currently being treated for injuries sustained from the incident with her boyfriend. She's being treated. Almost immediately after that report is released, Hara's boyfriend CJ, the hairdresser, sits down with the news network to share his side of the story. He says, I didn't know that me calling the police for both of our safety would become such a big issue. Some of the news reports are reporting things about me that are just completely false without consent, so I decided to do this and
I don't know why. Whenever I see their faces, I feel the need to scowl. You call it scowl, right? Like making that face, like
interview.
I can't
I
help
didn't
it,
break
okay?
into Goo Hara's house. The passcode for the house is the day we met, and we were using the space together, implying that they moved in together, which is a huge implication in Korean society, before getting married. I'm just shocked by the malicious comments. Currently, I'm unable to receive help from anyone. I don't know what to do. I'm also in pain physically and emotionally. If it's a crime to be the one to request a breakup, then it's my fault. However, it's not a two-sided assault case. We used to be lovers, but now we're separating with scars like this, and it just pains me. I may be a non-celebrity, but I hope that Hara herself will reflect back on this, apart from her status as a celebrity, and apologize to me. For a day or two, the reports go silent. Then, Goo Hara's boyfriend does another interview. This time, he releases pictures of his bloodied face to news outlets. He has 2 scratches on his forehead and one above his eye. They're pretty deep, and they look pretty bloody. The article states he also has a 1.5-inch wound under his eyes, bruises and abrasions on his forearms, and a few injuries on his back. The injuries in the picture, I will say, do look intense, and of course netizens turn on Hara. Along with the pictures, Hara's ex-boyfriend gives another statement. He says, and again, this is his second statement, and we have almost no statements from Hara other than her stating that this was a 2-sided assault case. The ex-boyfriend tells the media outlets, I've never thrown a fist at anyone in my life. Moreover, I have never struck a woman like that. If Goo Hara got bruised, it was only through physical contact to calm her down when she hit and scratched me, and it was not caused by my fist or other violence. This is not true, I swear. He also complained that his wounds were so deep that it made social life quite difficult. Whatever that means. Regardless, a lot of netizens are upset with Hara. Some even argue that Hara had no injuries listed about her face. She showed up to the police station and she had no injuries on her face, but look at his face, he has injuries. They stated that if 2 people are violently assaulting each other in a domestic violence situation, they will go for each other's faces because it's a heightened emotions, which means because she has no scars on her face, he didn't assault her. Which is crazy.
Oh, come
People are just
on.
exposing themselves as potential domestic abusers because what are you saying? Side note, at this time, Korean news outlets, one of them, they used this picture for the article, which is of Goo Hara allegedly assaulting her boyfriend, but the picture is from Goo Hara on a variety show, boxing another contestant, and it's a mid-action shot where she looks like she's about to punch the other contestant, and I'm sure it's all fun and games, like it's within the game parameters, like that's what she's supposed to do. But to use that in an article about domestic violence where it's questioned right now who the assaulter is crazy.
Yeah.
It's
She
like
could be a victim, she could be the pure assault. We don't know anything at this point, technically.
it's like they're implying that she is the assaulter.
But they use that picture of her? Other netizens speculated that the injuries on CJ are so bad, so strong, that no girl can do that. No skinny K-pop idol can do that. So that leads netizens to believe and openly speculate Goo Hara must be on drugs. Drugs give you superhuman strength. That's the only way you can inflict those injuries on a full-grown man. Goo Hara then releases her side of the story with dispatch. She does not come alone either. She brings her roommate. Let's call her Bella. They call her Mrs. B in the media files. Bella is Hara's roommate, and she was there when the assault took place. Goo Hara brings her phone with messages between her and CJ, her ex. She brings her full medical records, a full account of what happened that night. The two girls tell dispatch, this is what happened. And it all starts because of a work lunch appointment. A few days before the incident, Hara had to go to lunch with her manager and a guy who also works in the industry. So literally it'd be like going to lunch with your male coworker. And it's not even just a guy that works in the industry. She's supposed to do a photo shoot with him. She's not even that close with him, and they had this upcoming photo shoot, so this lunch, they're going over all the details with the manager. But Hara knows the minute she even mentions that another guy is gonna be there, that it's not just her and her manager, it's gonna be a whole thing. CJ is gonna blow it up into some big deal, and they're gonna fight over it, and she just omits that detail. She tells dispatch, he's usually very good to me, he's caring, but whenever any guys come up, we fight. If I get a call from a close colleague or an oppa, he becomes very scary. He says things that shouldn't be said. I didn't want to fight because of that, so that's why I didn't tell him if there were gonna be guys at that meeting. It was the same day, I just didn't want to cause any trouble that day. Bella butts in. He was suspicious of even all of her work relationships. He always checked on her by asking, who is he? What are you doing? And if she went drinking, he would say really harsh things, disturbing things that are difficult to hear. Hara would lie because she didn't want to fight, and the vicious cycle would just repeat itself. Actually, Hara once tried to break up with him, and she wrote a letter saying, let's just end it here. And he burned it in the restroom. In summary, the guy loses his mind if she's around another man, and he seems terrifying when he's mad, which is why Goo Hara tells him she's just going to lunch with her manager. He finds out. He finds out that there's another guy there, and instead of self-reflecting on why his girlfriend might feel the need to lie to him, he blows up. Hara tries to visit him 2 days after the lunch to try and explain to him why she hid it from him, explain the situation, but he doesn't want to hear it. He kicks her out. He does not talk to her for the rest of the day until 12:30 in the morning. CJ gets drunk, shows up at Goo Hara's house. He gets in through the front door because he knows her house key code. Most Korean residences have a keypad instead of a key. He punches in the code, lets himself in, and starts looking for Goo Hara. Hara is sleeping in her roommate's room that night. They both just fell asleep, talking to each other, hanging out. He finds her, and he's standing over the two girls, and he starts using his foot to kick Hara. He's pissed. He's kicking her nonstop. Are you sleeping? You're able to really sleep right now, huh? The roommate, Bella, wakes up, but it's so uncomfortable, so she just pretends to still be asleep, and she says that he sounded very, very drunk. Eventually, Hara gets up and tries to talk to him, but he's getting very emotional. The two of them leave the roommate's room to figure it out in private, and Bella can hear them. And at first, it sounds like muffling, like they're arguing, but trying to keep it down. Slowly, it turns into full-blown fighting, and not just screaming, but Bella can hear things being thrown, can hear people being slapped, she can hear furniture being broken. Outside, CJ is grabbing Hara by the hair, throwing her around. Hara is fighting back, trying to get him off of her. He has scratches on his face. He throws Hara up against the wall and throws a pretty big air purifier at her, which air purifiers are the size of small carry-on suitcases, like the one it's pictured. They're not small little humidifiers. He starts pushing her, swearing at her, and Hara fights back. She screams, "Who are you to push me? Who are you to curse at me?" Which I think in English, it sounds very much like, "Who are you? I'm better than you. Who are you? You're nothing," right? But in Korean, it's a little bit different. There's some missing context. It's typically used more in the sense of, no, I'm not gonna put up with this treatment. Like, it's almost like self-talk.
Yeah.
It's like, who are you? Like, I'm not gonna take this from someone. I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna stand up. Rather than, I'm better than you, who are you? Like, it's not like that, but he does kind of try to spin it like that later. Bella rushes out of the room, and Bella sees in Hara's room the whiteboard on the wall knocked off. The door is broken, the air purifier is partially broken. Hara's face is swollen, her jaw looks messed up, her arms and legs are swollen and scratched. And CJ tells Hara, I'm gonna f you over, I'm gonna make sure your career is over. Eventually, things calm down, enough so that CJ starts gathering up all of his stuff. He starts making his way down to his car, and to back that up, there is CCTV footage of both of them in the elevator at around 1:20 in the morning. They're both standing in the elevator, somewhat analyzing their wounds in the elevator mirrors. CJ is carrying luggage, and again, presumably his luggage after breaking up with Hara, and he's smoking a cigarette in the elevator, which, side note, a lot of K-netizens pick up on this detail. So first of all, you're not allowed to smoke in elevators. And second of all, in Korean culture, it's just considered a man who smokes in front of a woman, especially a romantic partner, unless that woman smokes, it's a very stereotypical guy image you get. Like, it's a very specific man who does that. And he's just like smoking in the elevator in front of her. It's just, it's kind of like, I guess, a trashy look. So that gets used as evidence later, but I'm just bringing it up because there's a lot of discourse. Anyway, CCTV footage shows them heading into the parking lot where CJ gets into his car, turns it on, and he just sits in his car idling for a little bit. He's sitting there at 1:26 a.m. sending an email. Keep this detail in mind. This email is very important.
No way.
Then he drives off and texts Hara once he's gone. He just texts her, no words, 2 files, 2 video files. The first one is a 30-second clip of them being intimate, then another 8-second clip. It is a threat without words. Yeah, it's a threat without words, but he tries to spin it. Just wait. Goo Hara does not respond because she's busy calling the guy that she had lunch with, the male coworker. There's a lot to unpack here, but it appears that him sending this message to her, sending her the videos after their fight, it's definitely a, hey, look, I'm gonna spread these. Look what I have over you. Why does Goo Hara immediately call the guy that she and her manager had lunch with? Because previously, CJ told her that he wants both of them, Hara and the guy coworker, to get on their knees and beg him for forgiveness for that lunch. Goo Hara is trying to give this unhinged blackmailer what he wants because he's threatening her. But because she's calling this guy, she's not responding to his text messages, and every time CJ calls her, her phone has a busy tone, and he texts her a few minutes later. You're like a real estate agent, unreachable. I'm wondering why.
I need to move forward to.
Unreasonable, and I'm wondering why I have to wait. You said to come. Never mind, my trust was just broken because I couldn't reach. You're just going to leave? Were you sure? On the phone for a long time. You told me to tell you the whole story so you'd come and kneel.
Oh.
I have to wait. You said to come. I can come to you. Never mind, my trust was broken because I can't reach you. So you're just gonna leave? You told me to make the call to the guy. You sure are on your phone for a long time. Squiggle, squiggle, like he's trying to make it very passive aggressive.
Wait, so at this point, Goo Hara is trying to call the guy
To come.
to apologize to him?
And kneel.
I'm sure
yeah.
she's trying to explain, and this would be like the world's biggest favor, and I'm sure as like a fellow
Yeah,
industry
yeah.
professional, he probably would have.
Yeah,
because
but that just shows how desperate she was.
she even calls the head of her former agency, but it's like 2 in the morning, no one's picking up. She said, you told me to tell him the whole story so he would come and kneel. Let's meet and talk. He said he's coming. He said he's almost arriving. Talk? I don't want to talk. Why should I talk? Like I said, I'll have him kneel before you. What difference would that make? You said that's what you want. CJ then sends a picture of a scratch on his forehead, and he continues to make sarcastic remarks. He also sends a photo of him up. He texts, looks like you're busy. You said let's meet. I guess I'll just do my own thing from now on then.
So sorry, do we know who he is?
Oh yeah. He's Choi Jung-bum. He's a hairstylist in Gangnam.
His information is out there?
Oh yeah.
Is he still out and about?
He was, but now he's like pretty under the radar.
But there's nothing, he's not like charged with anything though.
He does later. He gets charged, yeah. But it's a whole thing. The judge is crazy. Everybody's crazy. Like, it's never ending. Just when you think, wow, justice came late, but maybe we'll get some justice. No. She texts, where are you? I'll come to you.
I'm not even
He sends a picture of his face.
surprised
Even if I
anymore.
wash my face, I can't go to work thanks to you. Oh, sorry. You're probably meeting that guy of yours. Sorry to interrupt your nightlife. I just wanted to ask you what I should do about my face. She doesn't respond, and 2 minutes later, he texts again. Hello? If you don't respond, I'm just gonna go to the police. He ends up coming back to her place, and she does indeed get on her knees as evidenced by the CCTV footage. The guy friend does not show up. I don't know if she told him not to. I don't know if he was still on his way. But he calls the police and accuses her of being an abuser anyway. He conveniently makes no mention of his blackmailing or threats. Goo Hara states, the video and pictures were taken without her consent or awareness. She says she's ready to face the consequences of assaulting him as well in this two-sided assault situation, but she says, he threatened me with the video. For a female entertainer, what could be more terrifying? I acknowledge the hurt I caused. I will be punished for it, but what about the other hurt he caused me? He's a blackmailer. Her medical records also that she gave to Dispatch, which is saying a lot on how desperate she was to get the truth out there. Dispatch is a tabloid that ruins people's lives. The fact that she trusted them and went to them is like, she is truly just like trying to get the news out there. She's like, please, someone needs to believe me. Because, tabloids, celebrities, they have very tense relationships. Doctors listed on the reports that Hara suffered from uterus and vaginal bleeding, multiple forearm sprains, seizures, and more. The vaginal bleeding is unexplained, whether it's from trauma or from any other condition, but it is stated in her records. Dispatch releases pictures that shows all the bruises on her arms, legs, wrists, hands, knees, ankles. It's pretty intense. The bruises aren't even just brown, they're bright red, like blood blotches all over her body. And for the few netizens that still don't like Hara for some bizarre reason, further proof that she's telling the truth, CJ, Hara's ex-boyfriend, sent 2 emails to Dispatch, the same tabloid, that night.
Hara came out with the piece.
Yeah, the one he was
Dispatch.
writing in the
and
car.
then he reached out.
No, he reached out during the assault. The
Right.
night of the assault. And then later, Hara went to Dispatch, and Dispatch was like, you know what? We trust you also because of this.
Okay.
And they're like, one of the emails that they received from her ex-boyfriend was at 1:26 a.m. that night, before the police are called. This is when he first gets into the car to leave, and
In the
he's
car.
sitting in the parking lot idling. An email to tabloid Dispatch reads, I have a report to make about Goo Hara. Please give me a call. The second one is sent at 4:20 a.m., which would have been after the police came. It reads, subject, report on Goo Hara. Message, it won't disappoint. Please contact me. I can't send videos or pictures right now, but if you don't respond quickly, I'm gonna reach out to another network instead. You really won't be disappointed. I will say at this point, either netizens don't know about what's going on, or they're not keeping up with the news, or they're on Goo Hara's side. I would imagine if somebody is not, they need a lot of self-reflection. But CJ does not stop. He's on truly some unhinged mission to ruin Goo Hara, even if it means taking himself down. CJ, the ex-boyfriend, responds this time with his attorney, and the attorney states, it is true that the video exists. In terms of how the video came to be filmed, it was Goo Hara who wanted to film the video first, and over 80% of the video was led and filmed by her. When my client asked, why are we filming this? Goo Hara replied, I want to treasure a loving memory. While filming, when the phone fell down, Goo Hara set it back up. The fact that Goo Hara led the filming of the video can easily be confirmed through the video. Okay, but that still doesn't explain the blackmailing with it. It doesn't make sense. Okay, yeah, they filmed it, but he's literally threatening her with it.
Yeah.
The attorney says, if his goal was to leak or exploit the video, wouldn't he have already done so?
Well, he was going to.
Yeah, he was trying. I'm sorry he was unsuccessful, but he was trying. But he keeps yapping. Look, they fought because of Goo Hara's lies and issues with men. When my client stated that he was leaving Goo Hara because of her lies, she started the fight by grabbing him and saying, who are you to leave me? We will stand by our statement that the assault was one-sided. Goo Hara's bruises were most likely born when my client held her hand, trying to stop her from attacking, and as she fell and toppled when she tackled him, he did not hit her. Then CJ's attorney tries to guilt trip the public. My client's mother has become ill due to shock after hearing about this, quote, revenge porn issue. He has been holding back in consideration for the other party, but he is now being accused of being a heinous criminal. At the end of this very long, nonsensical statement, the attorney states that CJ, his client, will be suing Goo Hara for defamation. In another interview, CJ stands by the argument. The interviewer asks CJ, okay, regardless of if she wanted to film the video or not, it is weird to send the video to her after a fight. With no other accompanying message, how is a woman going to interpret that? He defends himself and said, the reason for sending it is like I said before, it wasn't like I was trying to do something with it. She took it herself, right? And basically after the fight, I was consolidating my files and I was deleting files and I was like, okay, I guess I should just send this to her because she's the one that took it. He's basically saying I was Marie Kondoing my phone and I needed her to have it back because she took it. I don't even know why it's on my phone.
I mean, who's gonna even like
believe
buy
that.
into any of this.
The police. The police agree with CJ. During the investigation, the police concluded initially they will change their
wanna
mind, but they
hunt
conclude that there is no
something.
definitive evidence that CJ was going to intentionally spread the video. He was no longer going to be investigated for violating the Sexual Violence Act, aka spreading sexual abuse through explicit videos, aka blackmail, or what used to formerly be known as revenge. He's still going to be investigated for other charges: assault, breaking and entering Hara's home. But a lot of women all over South Korea had a problem with this. They were pissed. They start feeling like, wait, first Goo Hara's boyfriend plays victim, calls her the abuser, makes her seem like this crazy girl that doesn't want to let him go, when in reality he's toxic, he's abusive, maybe not physically up until this point, but that night he was. But so far he's been mentally and
can't even
emotionally
bite my nails
abusive,
right
making her
now.
so terrified that she can't even go to a work meeting without lying. Then he publicly shames her, and turns out he was the abuser and he's blackmailing her with these revenge videos, but the police are not going to charge him with that because he only threatened her with it and did not explicitly tell her in words that he was going to spread it. Even though there are emails to tabloids that states that he has juicy information about her, like how much more can a threat and an intention be a threat and an intention? A petition was started by K netizens to strengthen the punishment for even the possession
life
of revenge
not
videos,
informed.
regardless of whether or not it is distributed. The petition gained over 200,000 signatures in 5 days, which is really fast in Korea. And the prosecutors would somewhat listen. The new indictment would state, CJ used a cell phone camera to take pictures of the victim against her will, including her thighs, kicking and cursing at her
Don't
while
tell
she was
me it's
sleeping,
just like
pushing
2-3
her chest with her
months
hand, dragging her
sentence.
to the closet, kicking her in the stomach. When the victim clawed at the defendant's face, he threatened her by sending her a video via messenger, and he stated to her in person, "I will end your celebrity life." So this whole incident will turn into a massive legal battle that lasts multiple years. But once the initial sympathy for Goo Hara dies down, her steadfast haters, who literally have no job but to hate her, they come back out of the woodworks. They will use this situation to call her a boyfriend beater, call her ugly, and a liar. Goo Hara goes silent on social media for a while. And back in November, so a few months after, she comes back with an Instagram picture of, it looks like she's walking into a room, and the room is called the crying room. So she takes a picture of the sign that reads crying room.
What year was this, by the way?
2018. The caption reads, "I'm in pain and I'm tired." A lot of her fans flood the comments, "We'll be with you every step of the way. Please have strength. We're rooting for you." So a lot of her fans are becoming a lot more vocal now. But even after everything she's been through, there are still negative comments that read, "Difficult time, but she still has to update her social media." Crying room? Just stay quiet, you fool. If I were in her shoes, I wouldn't even care about updating social media or taking a picture of some crying room. I feel like she has a different brain setup than us. If you're sane enough to log on to social media and post a picture and write a caption, it's really not hard or difficult for you right now. 8 months later, in 2019, middle of 2019, two things would happen. CJ will make a formal apology on Instagram while the legal case is still ongoing. He writes, "I want to sincerely apologize for causing so many people to worry. I wasn't able to respond to messages from friends, acquaintances, and people who love me because my KakaoTalk account was gone. I apologize once again for making so many people worry for so long and for causing disappointment. I want to live in repentance for causing such deep disappointment to my peers who trusted and worked with me, and the people who supported me and my family. With this kind of heart and with the help and support of others, I've been able to open up a salon after all this time. I'm lacking in a lot of ways, but as always, I will do my best as a stylist. Signed, Choi Chung-pom."
Wait. So he came out to promote.
This was not an apology and a promotion. I can see disappointment in her
his
face,
new
okay?
business?
Yeah. He used his apology, that's not an apology, to soft launch his new hair salon. It was shut down. Yeah. Because
What do you
people
mean it was shut down?
people
Thank
were like,
God.
"We're not going
Thank
there." He had to close
God.
it down.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
But around that same time, May 2019, Goo Hara posts on Instagram, "I'm tired of pretending that I'm happy and everything is okay. I don't want to cause concern among other people." A few days later, she posts another Instagram picture with just a cryptic word, "Goodbye." After seeing that, Hara's manager starts panicking, starts calling her, no response. They drive to Hara's house and find her unconscious and in critical condition. She attempted to self-exit. Thankfully, her manager rushes her to the hospital, and the comments under the articles about her attempted self-exit read, "Attention whore." She'll look back on this in a few years and cringe at herself. The true attention whores never actually die. They feel satisfied with the attention they get from it. No point in worrying about celebrities. They're all rich and live well. They only appear once in a while when they need attention. 2 days after the incident, Hara is basically forced to make a public apology. She says to the media and to the public, "I'm sorry for causing concerns and causing a big deal. In terms of health, I am recovering. I had been in agony over a number of overlapping issues, but from now on, I will strengthen my heart and try to be healthy. And I'm sorry and thank you. I will overcome it harder and show you the best version of me." While all of this is happening to Goo Hara in 2019, reporter Kang is still going through all the USB files. So now the timelines have merged. Goo Hara attempts to self-exit. Reporter Kang is going through JJY's phones, and she's releasing a few little articles about Burning Sun, but like the full death of Burning Sun is not uncovered yet. She's deep in trying to figure out who the police official is, because there's clear evidence in the chat rooms that they know someone in power that's pulling strings for them. One chat reads, and this seems from context clues to be about maybe a drunk driving issue, from Choi from FT Island. He texts into the chat, "I got a call earlier from Yongsan, the police station." What do they say? "The officer in charge of my case wished me a happy birthday. Ha ha ha." Another
Oh
text
my
read,
God.
"Some came in and took a shitload of photos of the interior of Burning Sun yesterday and snitched on us. But the police prosecutor general said they're snitching because they're jealous, so don't worry about it. He's gonna sort it all out for us, hee hee." Reporter Kang, she's already released a few articles about the chat rooms, but right now, finding out who their inside connection in the police is the most important part. It's such a crucial part of the investigation. They can't go to the police with the evidence of the chat rooms until they figure out who these officers are and which departments are involved, because if they hand over the evidence now, the police might just cover it up. There's too much on the line to take a chance like that. In 2019, reporter Kang is sitting there, pulling her hair out, trying to figure out who this police officer is, when her phone rings. "Hello?" There's a soft voice on the other end. "Hello, reporter Kang? This is Goo Hara." A K-pop idol reaching out to a reporter is unheard of. And for what? To help. Goo Hara said she wants to help. Hara tells reporter Kang that she read the articles recently released about Seungri, JJY, and Choi. She knew them. They were all friends at one point, and they used to come over to her house and hang out. And she didn't realize at that point, but she does remember now seeing some things on their phone, and it just was weird. Like, I don't think she saw anything crazy, but she was just like, I don't know, the vibes were weird, and I guess with your articles, it just clicked, and I do think something is going on. I think you're right about it. Reporter Kang had never had a K-pop star talk so frankly with her. Usually their image is so tightly managed, they don't speak without attorneys or without a prepared statement they don't deviate from. Maybe it's something in Hara that makes reporter Kang just trust her. Because technically, she could have been told by the guys to call if they're all friends. But reporter Kang trusts her, and she says, "To be honest, Hara, I am not getting anywhere with this case. No one's taking my calls." Hara is quiet and says, "Well, I want to help. I don't know how much of a help I can be, but I want to help." There is something Hara can do for reporter Kang. She needs a name. The name of the police official. It's never mentioned in the messages. Clearly, reporter Kang can't ask the police. She can't ask sources without tipping these involved off. She can't ask the parties involved, obviously, like they're gonna tell her. She tells Hara, in the Kakao messages, they keep referring to a police contact that makes their problems magically go away. Someone they call the police prosecutor general. He helped with drunk driving charges and other fines, just making them vanish. Can you get me the name of the police official? Hara is rather friendly with most of the idols involved, and this is before she knew what they were doing with Burning Sun. I mean, it's a small industry, so everyone was kind of friendly with them. But she was actually pretty good friends with Choi from FT Island, who is also involved in the chat rooms. They were close even during their training days, and likely they probably trauma bonded through what they had to go through to become idols. And I'm sure Hara, even after what she went through with her own situation with her ex-boyfriend, she likely has a lot of sense of feelings of betrayal for what Choi is accused of doing at this point, because this is her friend. He's a good friend that's accused of committing very similar acts to what her boyfriend did to her. It's a lot to deal with, but she tells reporter Kang she's gonna get Choi on the phone and they can record it. Hara manages to get Choi on the phone and tells him, she doesn't lie to him, she doesn't secretly record him, she convinces him to tell journalist Kang what he knows about the police official. She tells him, I can help you, tell the reporter everything you know. Reporter Kang speaks. It appears he's someone very high up. Choi says, yeah, we actually met once and played a round of golf together. I heard he's currently at the presidential residence working for the president. He did work for the police. It's a police officer named Yoo Kyung-gyun. Side note, I don't want anyone to think Choi messed up, but here he is willing to talk to a reporter and maybe showing remorse. No, it's very clear Hara is the one that made him admit it. Reporter Kang was able to record the conversation, and this was the big break in the case. Kang's reporting on the police officer with connections to the president's office that's helping out K-pop stars who are under investigation for crazy crimes. After that report, a wide police investigation ensues, and the Burning Sun investigation would only grow bigger from there. But reporter Kang cannot help but wonder, why would Goo Hara help her? I mean, don't get me wrong, she's forever grateful, but people in Hara's shoes probably would not. Especially right now, not too long after her self-exit attempt, after her countless battles with the media depicting her in this horrendous false light, why would she reach out to reporter Kang? To have someone in the industry, the inside world, calling a reporter who's in the middle of bringing so many of those people in that industry down, that's a big deal. Reporter Kang said, yeah, it can have been easy for a celebrity to just cold call a reporter the way she did. Hara was incredibly down to earth and brave. I was so grateful she was courageous enough to ask around for my contact number and reach out to me first. She said she wanted to help in any way to reveal the truth, and she was a really, really big help to us. What stays with me is that Hara was the one that persuaded Choi to talk to me. And within a few months, Goo Hara would be dead. And reporter Kang, along with the rest of the public, could not help but notice some very sick parallels in Goo Hara's life and her friend Soli's life, two of the most hated K-pop idols at the time, and the parallels between their scandals, their life, their career, compared to Seungri, JJY, and Choi, some of the most beloved K-pop idols of the time, and how the ones that are actually worthy of love do not get it until it's too late. This is part 1 of this episode. Part 2 will be uploaded on Sunday, where we will cover the new updates of Burning Sun, how all the guys are trying to make a comeback, and the deaths of both Sully and Goo Hara. So, please stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Okay. This is dark. I don't have anything else to say. I mean, this is just part 1, and until we hear part 2. But this is it for the video, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.